Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. Okay, firstly, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you're new on board, welcome. If you're here from TikTok, hello. It's nice to have you here. Where to start? Just a quick update. So I'm at Port Kembla tomorrow. If you're in the local area, I'm open for readings at the Enigma Cafe, the Psychic Hub in Port Kembla. I will be absent for the next 2 Thursdays and then back, I think, around about the 20th or somewhere around there. I'm heading off to Brisbane. I still have a few slots in Brisbane, so if you're interested in having a reading with me in Brisbane, please give me a call. A few people have asked me around other places. I'm actually staying at Noosa or Tewantin. So if you're interested in a reading and you're on the Sunshine Coast, you can catch up with me there. And if not, I'll be heading back somewhere around the 13th of May. I'll be at Goulburn this Sunday with the fair at Goulburn. I think it's at Goulburn Workers Club, the 2nd. So I'm available for readings there. And then at Merewether in Newcastle on the 20th of June, I think it is. But I'm all over the place. So I'm still available to do readings. I'm still available to do Zoom, Skype, whatever you need. I'm still around. So just contact me just to make sure that you've got me where you need me to be. All right. It's so much fun. I love this and I missed it so much during the COVID shutdown. And it's so good to be able to get in my car and go again. So I'm very excited about travelling. All right, so I hope to catch you somewhere on the way around in Australia. Maybe one day, and I know a lot of people have said that to me, I'll get to go to other parts of the world. So anyway, we're on the Gilded Tarot. I'm pretty sure that's everything, but I love that we've got this out first. I love the Judgment card because the Judgment card tells me we're about to start a new cycle. It's sort of the end of a cycle here. This is when the judgment, it's like being called to judgment. You are being called to fix up things in your life in the past circle. Wow, that was a croaky voice. In the last cycle that you haven't completed. So very often things will come back now to be completed. It's sort of a little bit like Mercury retrograde, I guess. So for some of you, this may be somebody returning from your past. It may be past arguments or past disagreements that will be coming to the surface to be addressed. But what the tarot is saying to you here is you can't move into the next cycle because you're nearly ready to complete, but you can't take that next step unless you've cleared any of the past stuff here. Otherwise, you're creating karma for your next cycle. And karma is an ongoing thing. It's not something you complete completely and then you move on to the next accumulation. It is sort of being called to be judged for what you've done by the universe. So it's a clearing of what needs to be cleared before you complete the cycle. And then when I see the Nine of Wands, I think there's something you've been cycling on here. Because the Nine of Wands for me is repeating a pattern and getting hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt. But sort of getting to the end of this cycle at the Nine of Wands. So something that you're going back to address is something that may have caused you a great deal of hurt, but also something you may have done previously or on previous occasions. So I feel like many of you won't be able to close this cycle out until you've completed some sort of energy from the past cycle. But when I see this, I feel like it's right on your doorstep here. If you haven't worked out what it is, I feel that you're just about to sort of nub that in some way, shape or form. Because this feels to me like it's on your doorstep. You're surrendering here. You're vulnerable. You're asking for the universe to show you what you need to complete to move into the next cycle. So I feel like you're really close for those who are working at it. For some of you, and we've talked about this over the last few weeks and it's come up quite a lot, is this energy of victim mentality, or I want to break that down a little bit, because when I say that, I think sometimes people may not really understand what they do to themselves. And there's a lot of people out that do this, and I hear it even when I'm doing my readings, you know, the negativity that you land on yourself when you're talking about yourself. The things that you say about yourself that aren't really true, but you feel obliged to say them. And then sometimes I hear people sort of making excuses as to why they say them. And I think they're probably not even your voice that you're repeating there. But for example, you might say something like, oh, that always happens to me. Or, yeah, that's my life. Or that's life. I'm only human. All of those things come forward, and you're just making excuses for negatively programming yourself. So I always say to people, especially when I'm coaching, listen to your voice, listen to what you say to yourself, pay particular attention, always be the observer in your life. It doesn't matter how flat or how sad you are, just listen to those things that you say to yourself. And you know what? Some people would turn around and say, well, I don't want to change. I like myself as I am. That's who I am. And I think, well, you know what? If that is who you are and you don't want to change, that's cool. You live with it, but it will impede you. It will stop you on your journey. It will completely keep you in that negative space, because you keep telling yourself you don't deserve anymore. You keep telling yourself that's who you are. So as long as you're telling yourself those things, they don't change. And it's really funny because, you know, we do these affirmations where we get up and talk about, you know, we might look in the mirror every morning and tell ourselves how beautiful we are or how wonderful we are. And sometimes that feels a little bit awkward because we think, how can that help us? But it does. It completely changes your mindset. Think about it. If somebody said something horrible to you and that sat with you for a very long time, you can change that just in a few times by telling yourself differently. So don't ask yourself how telling yourself you're beautiful or telling yourself you're wonderful is going to change when you're listening to things that probably people have only said to you once. And I know that I hear people say things all the time that they've programmed into themselves as children. And they'll say something and you know full well that's something somebody's brought with them from a long time ago. But they don't even hear it when they're saying it. So be really conscious, because there's something to do with your overthinking, your negative thinking, or you're sort of sitting in this mentality of, I cannot move, I am stuck. So the Emperor is here. And the Emperor is a person who knows their own power. They know their inner strength. They know what they're capable of. They know where they're going, and nothing will stop them. They have built themselves up to be in this position. The Emperor is never born. The Emperor is always made. This is something you can make of yourself here. Wow, if you put the conflict aside, let go and move forward. Absolutely. This is about you understanding your deeper commitments, understanding your deeper commitment to self, really understanding who you want to be, who you are at the very core, and putting this into action here. So some sort of cycle is closing out and you're being asked to pull back and understand your power. And we hear this a lot. And sometimes when people say to me, you know, have I finished the cycle? How long's the cycle going to be? I think a lot of us are stuck in energies that we don't really understand at the moment. But if you're stuck, it's because the universe has got you there so you can see what you're doing. If you're becoming frustrated, angry and upset because you can't work out how to close out a cycle or what it is you need to learn, then this is a time to really meditate. Give yourself space. Listen to your higher self. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands coming through. I really love this card. It does talk about communication, rapid communication, things moving very quickly across the airways. It can be the arrows of love. So it could be for some of you that you're getting some sort of communication here. And it could be in regards to love or a love relationship. Let's just keep going with this. All right, Seven of Swords. The Death card. And the Seven of Pentacles. This is interesting energy here. I feel like this is your energy with this Seven of Swords. I feel like you're trying to get away with something. You're trying to move past something without accepting this transformation. Now, I don't believe that you would be doing this so much deliberately, although some of you may be avoiding it even though you know you have things to work on, and that's fine. That comes in your own time. I actually feel for many of you, this is sort of avoiding something in particular, and it may be communication here. There may be something in your life that's been going on for some time, and you know that the communication will somewhat heal this. But for some unknown reason, either you're avoiding it deliberately or you're not able to have that conversation. So it could be that the person you want to have, possibly a Scorpio, is not available for you to have that conversation with. But something here has almost been, okay, I want to get deeper. I don't feel it's so much about the conversation or about clearing the air. I feel like something has happened here that you've hung on to that could be healed with a conversation, but you're not able to have the conversation for some reason, but you're still hanging on to the guilt and the sadness of it. You may be in sort of this energy of not understanding how to make your own closure, how to close something down. Because for us as human beings, we somewhat need to feel that something's been finished, and some of us find it very difficult to move on if things are left up in the air. But it's not so much things are left up in the air, it's more the energy of questioning yourself. I hope I'm getting through here because it's really deep. It's more the energy that you're withholding within yourself rather than the closure itself. So say, for example, someone's gone off in a huff and they've said something really gruff to you and then they've never spoken to you again. And you feel that it's the closure from them that you need. But what I'm feeling here, it's more about you releasing what was said in those moments, or releasing or forgiving or letting go of those particular things. Because I feel here, it's like you're repeating, especially with that Nine of Wands, you're repeating the hurt over and over and over again. And this hurt is creating some form of self-sabotage for you here. It's creating a pain that you're repeating. So it's like you keep putting yourself, it's always like I say, like self-flagellation. It's like you keep putting yourself through the same energy over and over and over again by thinking about it or repeating it. And, I often talk about the fact that, sometimes we feel or we perceive or we see situations being a certain way and we hang on to that energy because it's our own perception. But maybe this wasn't what it seemed at the time. But what part of it are you finding it hard to release? Because a transformation needs to occur, but yet you're sort of avoiding that in some way, shape or form. As I always say, when people say, I can't let go of something, I ask them, do you want to? Because sometimes when we can't let go of things, it's because we want to hang on to the energy. We want to hang on to the person or the situation. It's not really because we can't. So ask yourself, is it what I'm wanting? Do I want this? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to keep putting yourself through this pain or this upset. But if it's not what you want, ask yourself, how do I let it go then? Ask your higher self. All right, because Hermit, that makes sense here. Absolutely. All right, the Queen of Wands, followed by the King of Pentacles. There's a great need for you here to bring yourself back into stability. I feel that here there is a really big need for you to go inside, but perhaps for some of you that is particularly hard to face your shadow or to face that part of yourself. Maybe you've always adopted that way of doing things because somehow it makes you feel human. It's self-harming. It is about self-harming. It's about punishing yourself over and over again because you feel that you did the wrong thing or you feel you're to blame for something. Now, this could be something to do with a father figure or a partner here, for sure. It could also be to do with a male family member, or somebody who has a more dominant place in your life, because you're questioning yourself because this person hasn't spoken up or been honest with you or able to understand. Maybe this person isn't around for you to say that to. Could be dealing with a Virgo here. All right, so we have the Six of Pentacles. Oh, very nice with the Star. All right, and the Queen of Pentacles. There is a really strong need for you here to work with the universe. The universe is saying to you here, we feel your pain, we see your distress, and we're here to bring you back into some sort of stability here. It may be a sister or brother here as well, or even a child coming through. There is something here you are holding yourself responsible for that isn't your responsibility. There is some sort of communication coming through. So let's have a look at what's happened. You're being called to sort something out. Something that is a repeating pattern in your life. And it could be something to do with a victim mentality, negative thinking, overthinking, something that it's like you're chewing the cud here. You keep chewing over something that's not serving you, and the universe is telling you need to get your power back. You need to take your power back. They're ready to work with you here, though. This is definitely about the universe bringing you round and working with you here. This is part of your purpose, part of your life path here, to learn some sort of lesson about yourself. And I feel like for many of you, this is about healing some past event that you keep churning on, or only thing I can think of is like chewing the cud. That's the energy where you just keep going over and over it again in your head, expecting a different result. But when you're doing it in your head, it's never going to help. But there is something you need to heal here, because the universe is trying to move you forward into the next cycle. And I feel like for many of you, this is going to be a very lucrative cycle once you start pulling your power back. Because you can't move on until it's completed. Five of Wands, the Moon. Yeah, it's definitely about your shadow side. There's the Eight of Swords again. And there, oh wow, okay, that's really straightforward. All right, mini story coming up. All right. Now we're told to be in the Emperor energy, and I've just pulled those out after shuffling, and I've got a couple of the same cards back again, which says to me there's a really important lesson here. Something you go backwards and forwards in your head about. Now, this may not be all the time. It may just come around when you're feeling a bit flat. There might be something that reminds you of it. Just ask yourself, if I'm constantly being reminded, is there something I need to let go here? Because there's something hidden within you, some sort of emotion, upset, maybe anger, frustration, hurt, pain, that is sitting within the shadow side, that is waiting to be released. Whatever this is here, it's creating this energy of overthinking, constantly ruminating, and going over and over something time and time again, but not getting the result you want. Of course not, because you're doing it in your head. Take action. I feel that's what they're saying here, because there's a definite feeling here of letting go and understanding how to step into your own power. This is very much letting go of this energy. But I feel like for some of you, it may be buried quite deep. But again, ask yourself, do I want to release this? Ask your higher self, do I want to release this? How do I release this? Because sometimes the pain makes us feel human. That's why I said it's like self-harming. It's almost like you keep beating yourself up because it makes you feel complete or whole. If you let go of it, what will you think about? Alrighty. Wow, that was a really heavy reading for this morning. Let us pull an oracle card. And there it is. Kindred partnership. Wow. Oh, that's what I was going to go back to. I wanted to find out what the communication was all about here. because there seems to be some sort of communication coming through, a consciousness of lack. I'm just pulling the same cards every time this week. Let me just have a look at this Eight of Wands, because it talks about communication coming through, and I feel that you're being given a chance to address something that's been doing this to you through communication. Oh, Ten of Cups, Six of Wands. There's a victory here with a water sign. Okay, for some of you here, again, this could be a parent figure. There is something waiting on the doorstep for you here. So something's about to help you move past this energy. So all is not lost. The universe wants to work with you here. We see it in the Six of Pentacles. So the universe is ready to work with you on this to help you release, because you're having trouble understanding how to release an energy. So we know they're trying to help you release here. What is happening and what is on your doorstep, or just around the corner, or on the other side of this, once the cycle is closed with this Ten of Cups, is great happiness and victory, possibly with a water sign here. So whoever this person is, or whoever this person is that's kept you trapped in this energy, is obviously going to communicate, or you're going to have communication. Maybe it be inadvertent. Maybe you're going to bump into this person, but some sort of conversation is going to take place here for you to release this past energy and move forward here. This is beautiful energy. So I thought it was, but I wasn't quite sure, because we get the kindred partnership out here. And I've seen this week, and this is obviously about two people coming together who are meant to be together. So there's sort of this energy of perhaps it's something you need to heal within yourself to make this happen, or to get you into the next phase. But this idea, this consciousness of lack has come through so many times, and I feel like this is what we've seen so much this week. This is what we're focused on, trying to understand that we have so much more power than we realize. And I feel like many of us struggle to really find our own personal power. But this is called Something is Missing. A man leans dejectedly on a concrete heart, his back turned to the potential gold and beauty held there. His melancholy seems overwhelming, and this card may reveal a similar energy for you at this time. There may be some financial limitation for you, possibly even significant money woes. But this card could indicate restriction in other areas as well. Maybe you've got a love consciousness, a lack of love. You may be experiencing some limitations in love or relationships, and the feelings of loss could be frustrating or sad. The consciousness card reveals even deeper issues than the great gratitude card reversed. It demands that you shift out of the lack consciousness now, even if you feel something is missing in your life. Your fear only restricts you further, making you more miserable and manifesting more limitation. It may be difficult to focus on something positive when you're lonely or have financial troubles, but it's absolutely necessary to do so if you want to change your reality. Take the steps you need to resolve whatever issue may be bothering you, but don't stop there. Make the energetic cause to always acknowledge what you have, even to the smallest detail. Choosing to value yourself and your life will break down the harsh feelings in your heart and bring many amazing experiences to you. So there we go. Have a great day.